What's up? Welcome to No BS Affiliate Marketing. Welcome to No BS Affiliate Marketing
with your hosts,
Andy Mattis,
Pascal Kurz. What's going on, everybody? In today's episodes, we want to talk about organic marketing. And so what we want to cover and give you an insight of is, the high-level steps of the organic marketing. We will go over what system we are using, because we found that most people in this game, they are missing a proper strategy to really, find their ideal clients and, guide them through the steps when they finally end up buying from you. So we're going to talk about our system. And the first thing that we get into is packaging and messaging. So, Andy, I want to give the word to you. Walk us through the
People are probably
packaging.
What the hell is packaging and messaging? Okay, so the packaging is really sort of just helping you get clear on exactly like who it is that you serve, and basically how to serve them and kind of like what you actually kind of deliver to them, right? So like we don't just kind of go out there and just sort of market to like anyone and everyone. We don't go out there and market to like business owners. It's really about helping you kind of picking a niche, nailing down exactly like who your ideal client is, helping you understand like what are their pains, what are their desires, what are their needs. And like the reason behind this is because like if you don't understand the people that you're supposed to be marketing to, it's going to be really difficult for you to be able to market to them effectively, right? So like once you kind of arm with this information, then you essentially, you go out there and you find like, if you're promoting something that solves one of those problems that you kind of found. Okay. And then you basically use that information to then, package, that research that you found from those pains, those needs and stuff, you package it into a message that elicits a response from your audience. So yeah, essentially that's kind of what the packaging and messaging is that we kind of use. Well, anything to kind of add there, Pascal?
Yeah. So we kind of talked about this a lot in the previous episodes. So I just want to point you to those episodes if you haven't watched them and you want to get more information about, how exactly you can elicit a response from your ideal clients. And we talked about more about how to find your ideal clients, what their pains are, like you said. Go check out the previous videos. They will explain it to you in detail. And so, yeah, that brings us to the second step, the magnetic attraction.
Yeah.
Right. So would you kindly, start going over that?
So it is like literally as it kind of says on the tin, magnetic attraction. It's basically attraction marketing, right? So basically how to basically attract people to you versus you having to chase them down. This is basically done through, Facebook organic marketing. And basically like just to give you guys kind of like an example, like obviously can't really kind of go into like the nitty gritty details at the moment because I'll be here forever. But yeah, I created a post on Monday, so it's like Friday now. And oh my gosh, like a simple post, it literally took me about 10 seconds to write a really, really simple post. And I've managed to schedule, I think it's like 32 calls, 24 this week. And I think I've got about 7 or 8 booked into next week from a post that took me 10 seconds to write. Okay. Now, if I was to basically be doing a whole bunch of kind of cold outreach on Facebook, it would have taken me a lot of connecting with a whole bunch of people. Obviously, I've got an audience there that I've been building for, about a year. So obviously, I've kind of got that audience there. But it's really about, how to actually kind of, monetize that audience, how to actually kind of attract people to you. So it's essentially kind of, inbound organic, right? That's really basically what it is.
Right.
You run paid ads, that's kind of like, inbound traffic. but it's not as good quality because these people typically don't know who you are. They've just stumbled across your paid ad like randomly, and that's cold traffic. This is warm, warm traffic that's essentially kind of been following me for kind of some time. So the quality of traffic from inbound, organic is a lot better than kind of paid.
Okay, so like just for our listeners, if they do not know what is the difference between cold, warm, and like hot traffic, could you just quickly go over that?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, so it's basically three different types of traffic. So let's go into like what is traffic. Traffic is just people, right? So if you're on like Facebook, like I said, if you're running Facebook ads, like people click on an ad and then go through onto someone's like website or landing page or whatever's there, that's basically classed as traffic. So it's just kind of people. Organic traffic is just people that are basically on Facebook. So you've got three different categories of traffic. You've got cold, you've got warm, and then you've got hot. So cold traffic is essentially just people that, they don't know who you are. I'm sure most of you will be familiar with the term like cold calling. When you get those annoying phone calls from those annoying people, like, who are you? Where do you get my number from? Leave me alone, go away kind of thing, right? It's cold, they're cold calling you. You don't know who these people are. Often you don't really sort of, you don't know them, you don't like them, you don't trust them, right? And then warm traffic could be like, someone that you're kind of like aware of. So let's say, for example, I've spoken to you before, or you've been on my friends list for a little while. You're kind of aware of who I am. Then you would essentially be classed as kind of warm traffic because you know who I am, right? And then hot traffic is essentially just people that have kind of purchased from you before. And again, in marketing, obviously, those are going to be kind of like the easiest people to kind of sell to, because they're already sort of paying customers of yours, provided that you obviously sell them something that's actually going to help them and actually going to benefit them and help them along the way. I've kind of gone into this on one of our previous podcasts, so if you haven't checked that, we really go into like the importance of why that stuff's so important. So again, yeah, if you haven't checked out those other ones, make sure you go and check out the previous episodes.
Small
Yeah.
hint
What's
has
that?
something to do. A small hint. It has something to do with relationship.
Yes. Yes. So
Right.
yeah, that's the
So
traffic.
right. So like the Facebook organic that we're using, we can kind of go into the funnel, kind of. I would say quote funnel unquote. For our Facebook profile and Facebook groups, like I kind of get asked, especially beginners, like, do I need to start, a Facebook group, or do I set up a funnel on my page? So what do I do? Like, what's the process there? So
Yeah. So essentially, kind of just like high level steps, because again, you're trying to dive into like the nitty gritty. It's going to be a little bit kind of difficult with like the content and stuff. But like a Facebook funnel, like this is why like the packaging and messaging is so important, of like nailing down exactly who your ideal client is, because then like once you know exactly who the audience is that you're going after, the next step is really for you to then, once you've got an offer and everything, the next step for you is to get traffic, right? And in order for you to get traffic, you need to kind of figure out, right, where are these people, where are these people, right? Where are they hanging out? So it's like, finding kind of the right kind of sort of targeted groups where your audience is hanging out. Essentially kind of like just to explain to people, like, just think of like a funnel, right? An actual kind of funnel. I'm not talking about website like click funnels or anything like that, just like an ordinary funnel that water funnels through, right? It starts like wide at the top and then it kind of funnels down into this like narrow little channel, right? And essentially all you're doing is like, in the Facebook group at the top, you're basically finding all this like wide kind of pool of people, and then you're taking them through a series of steps so they end up in that little bottleneck at the bottom of the funnel, right? Which is where you want them to be. Okay. And when they're at the bottom of that funnel neck, they're essentially kind of in contact with you, basically ready to kind of like purchase your program. So you're just basically funneling people through like a specific kind of process. So just to kind of break down that process, like really kind of high level steps, is like, you'd find the Facebook groups where these people are hanging out. You'd be basically, connecting with people in these Facebook groups. They'll be checking out your Facebook page where you're kind of, publishing content, sort of, nurturing your relationship and kind of, building your audience. From there, you would kind of sort of be like connecting with people, in Messenger. you may have a Facebook group, you may be sort of like, funneling people into your kind of Facebook group and continue to kind of nurture the relationship with them there. And then essentially kind of like if you're using like funnels or like click funnels or growth funnels, either kind of pushing them into the funnel, or if, you're basically kind of, getting people booked onto calls, you would then sort of be focusing on obviously kind of, booking people onto calls. And then from there, they either become a paying client or they don't. And it's essentially kind of like just a series of steps that you take people through from like somebody who doesn't even know who you are to becoming a paying client. It's like a funnel, it's a system.
Yeah.
Basically a step-by-step process that you kind of take people through.
Right. So if I get started, do I need a Facebook group?
You don't need one. However, it's very wise to have one, provided you know what to do with one. If you're asking this question, then you probably don't know what to do with one. So if you don't know what to do with one, you probably haven't got mentorship around that. So yeah, if you don't really kind of have a clue what you're doing, then it'd probably be wise kind of finding a mentor to kind of show you what to do with the actual kind of Facebook group there.
Right.
But
Good
yes, I
point.
would definitely recommend having one. But if you don't know what you're doing, it's kind of a little bit, you know, uh,
Yep.
trying to fly a
And
plane and you've never taken any lessons before. It's kind of a bit like,
not
right?
risky at all.
There's a lot of these people out there on affiliate marketing who just try and figure things out, and they're just going in the wrong direction for years and years and years because they don't know what they're doing, basically.
Yeah.
So
That's where a process system comes in handy.
mhm.
Right. So we covered packaging and messaging. We covered the magnetic attraction. So the next step would be conversion. Now, obviously, you mentioned already the bottom of the funnel where we want people to be. So in this conversion process, like what is the, high level step of the conversion process?
Yeah, so it's like ultimately like it's going to be kind of, so are we kind of referring to like the attraction market side of things, or just
So
the
yeah,
process kind of different, attraction marketing, or just kind of like reaching out to people, I guess, because you bring
right.
into play like Facebook groups and stuff as well.
So like the how do I convert people? Like that's the next question, right?
Yeah. All
So
right. So yeah, it's not kind of like one simple answer, but yeah, essentially kind of there's, again, more processes, right, behind, connecting with people. Essentially, you want to be sort of reaching out to people in Facebook Messenger, having actual conversations with them. Like I said, it's kind of like, business is really about kind of like building relationships with people. And the best way to really kind of build relationships is by having conversations with people, actually connecting with them. Um, so I'm not kind of a big fan of like using like messenger bots and stuff like that, or any of those kind of softwares in messenger. Just
yeah.
I can't tell you the amount of people that have been like, oh my god, like you're actually talking to me. It's like everyone else has just said to me these copy and paste pictures and stuff. So just really kind of
Yeah.
having conversations with people. And like something that's really important to remember as well, guys, is like people aren't robots. It's not a case of just throwing your link in Facebook Messenger and people clicking on it and buying. People hate that stuff. So keep your link in your pocket unless they're actually kind of open to it. So yeah, it's really kind of just like connecting with people in Messenger, just like finding out a little bit about them. Are they struggling with anything? Are they actually having any problems? Can you actually help them with those problems, right? If you can, only if you can, and you're 100% sure that there's actually a problem there that you can solve should you ever kind of pitch someone. And it wouldn't even like really be a pitch. It's kind of, you've seen the way that we do it. It doesn't come across as like pitchy
Yeah.
and that's pretty rare for like most people.
We
Yeah,
are doctors.
yeah, essentially it's like doctor, you reach out to someone, like you go into the doctors, right? I love using this analogy, man. You've probably heard it 100 times before. Like, you go into a doctor's, right? And you just imagine, right? You walk into the doctors and the doctors say, "Hey, man, yeah, I've got these like amazing pills. Like, do you want to buy them?" And they're like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
$1.99." You'd be like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! Like, you haven't even diagnosed me with anything. Like, I'm not taking that stuff, right?" And it's the same in Facebook Messenger. You come in there and you're like, yeah, like click this link. People are going to be like, they're going to block you. They're going to be rude to you. They're going to tell you to go away, right? So, switch to Dr. Frame, right? has this person got a problem that I can solve? Go into kind of diagnosis. If there is, then you just prescribe the medication to that problem. Real simple. That's that kind of like analogy sort of mindset you should have when you're sort of reaching out to people in Messenger. We have a process called SPIN. Okay, 4-step process: situation, problem, implication, need, payoff.
Right. So
Right.
those are the
Yeah.
things we will want to figure out in the actual conversation with the people.
Yeah. What's their
And
situation? What's their problem? What are the implications of those problems? Need, payoff. 4-step process.
yep. Right. So what you don't want to do, and what I did at first, was, getting into this thing and trying, to get my product out to people, but I had no clue how I should do it. So I tried to figure everything out on my own, trying many, many different things, messages, questions, and yeah, it just never seemed to work. So, like, if you don't have a process, it's the same thing again. You trying to find everything out on your own. It will just cost you so much freaking time and nerves to get there.
It's mad. It's mad. Yeah, it will. Take it from someone that's done it. Pascal
Yep.
has. um,
Yeah, I love like Bob Proctor. He's saying, I was listening to an interview with him, and he said, so the question was, if you could, with the knowledge you have now, if you could go back and have 1 minute to talk with your 20-year-old self, what would you tell them? And he said, if you want to do something, find somebody who's done it and learn and do everything like they tell you to do.
It's not rocket science, people. It's really not
Yeah.
rocket science. It's just people aren't willing to be resourceful and kind of, do what it takes to kind of get to where they want to go.
Yeah.
Your mind will fight tooth and nail to keep you right in the same mess that kind of brought you here in the first place.
Yeah.
And that's just the truth. Like your mind, like learning to kind of control your mind with like mindset stuff is very, like eventually it gets like a little bit easier, but it's very tricky. Your mind, once you become aware of this stuff, your mind is always just trying to essentially sabotage you. And yeah,
Which leads us to the fourth step in our system, the mindset.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, you touched on that already. So like,
yeah, subconsciously I touched on it.
Yeah, so it's so important. Like, I can't stress it enough. First, when I got into the space, people are telling you about mindset, and like, who needs that shit? I just need the tactics and strategies. Give me the effing tactics and strategies, right?
Yeah.
I need that. I will make money quick. And you laugh at all this mindset stuff, and you skip the mindset training in the program you just bought, and then you wonder 6 months later you haven't made any sales. What the hell am I doing wrong? I'm following the strategy and tactic that I'm getting. So like you touched on, it is the mindset that is 80% of this whole how do you say it, of the whole equation.
Yeah. Literally like 80% of the equation is mindset related. Yeah, very, very important. I can't stress how important this stuff is. Mindset is everything.
You kind of get into this thing, with so many limiting beliefs. We had so many limiting beliefs, anxieties, fear about doing live videos and stuff like that. Like that's normal, right? It's just, how you get at it. If you have the proper mindset, and that's why we teach mindset, then you can achieve anything you want to. But it first starts with what is going on here. And that's
every single decision you make, every action you take, literally everything you do or don't do starts with your mindset. So if you think that you don't need mindset, that's a mindset issue that you're having right there in itself.
Mindsetception.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if you do not fix your mindset, most likely you will get sabotaged by your mind. You will not have any results, even though, like I said before, you're following the tactics and strategies and you're wondering. And this is really, it all comes back to the mindset. If you don't think you're worthy of success, or if you don't think you can be successful, guess what? That will be your reality.
Mm-hmm. It's harsh, but this is called no BS affiliate marketing. We give it to you straight here. So it's just talking truth. And mindset is really kind of something that needs to kind of be worked on like daily. So we have like a daily kind of like mindset formula that we kind of go through like first thing in the morning and on the evening before you go to bed. I've even started incorporating a bunch of kind of mindset sort of drills that kind of go through like throughout the day, just to keep my head in the game. Because even after doing this stuff for a while, like my
Yeah.
mind still tries to kind of sabotage me in ways that I haven't seen yet. So it's always this. It's a constant game of just trying to keep on top of it, basically. To keep your head in the game. So it's literally like anything, man. You want to go to the gym and you want to get ripped. You don't just do something once and then you've got like massive muscles. Like you have to.
Wait, what?
What?
Just kidding.
Yeah. But like you've got to get the reps in like continuously, like consistently as well. And it's the same with mindset. It's the same with business. Okay, you can't just start something for 30 days and then quit and jump back in and expect it to work. You're going to lose everything. So it's like consistency, repetition, which is essentially kind of how things work. So yeah.
I want to give our listeners just one, now you can see it too, one secret tip to improve their mindset. If I would ask you for one of the most influential things that you've done regarding mindset that you can we can give our listeners to then do on their own, what would it be?
Can I give two?
I have to think about it. Yeah, give it two.
I can't. I'll just be like, I can't give one. I like give two.
Okay,
So
even better.
like, affirmations, okay. But like affirmations that I would recommend to anyone that's hasn't seen this. I recommend reading the book called The Miracle Morning. If you're an entrepreneur, they've got The Miracle Morning for Entrepreneurs. They've got The Miracle Morning book. They've got a whole bunch of different books which are based around the Miracle Morning. I recommend taking a look at that book. It's really, really good. And essentially they go into kind of how to create like really good kind of affirmations, but not just affirmations that have like your why attached to it, what it is that you want, and actual kind of like time frames kind of attached in that kind of affirmation. So you're not just saying things like, oh, I am a money magnet, money is attracted to me and stuff like that, because essentially if that's not what you're currently doing, if that's not your reality, then your subconscious will basically decline it, because you're basically trying to tell yourself a lie. All right, so you essentially kind of create affirmations that are kind of you're working towards, the actual proper time frames, and you basically attach your why to it, which is just makes it that much more kind of impactful. So it's not just a case of just kind of like reading affirmations. It's really about kind of basically having like a really kind of like serious kind of tone when you're actually kind of talking about it, and actually kind of feeling the emotion attached to what it is that you're saying. And then obviously after so long, actually kind of creating new affirmations, so you're not just reading the same stuff over and over and over again, like every sort of like few weeks, kind of just switch it up. And then the other one is kind of visualization, right? And again, if you dive into like the mindset stuff as well, this is like of like elite athletes and stuff like that. So I'm just going to give you guys an example. I can give you another book on this one, and a really good book called Mindset by Carol Dweck. Amazing book. So for any of you that watched the 2012 Olympics, Michael Phelps, the American swimmer, oh my gosh, I remember watching that guy just absolutely just annihilate every single person that was basically in those swimming pools, right? I think he's like the greatest Olympian of all time. Like he had so many medals by the end of that Olympic Games. And yeah, in this book they actually talk about like his routine, like because basically when you do like visualization, it actually works the same part of your brain that it does when you're doing the actual kind of activities, right? So visualization is a really good way to obviously kind of practice like certain things that you're doing. But yeah, I don't remember like the exact kind of routine, but just to give you guys an example, like when Michael Phelps was walking out, obviously they walk out to the swimming pool, they stand behind the blocks. He would walk out with his headphones in and his jacket on, clothes or whatever. He would basically stand there. They would wait for his name to be called. He would take out one headphone. And then I don't know, everyone else's names get called. He takes out his second headphone, and then he basically walks over to his blocks. He wipes the block, and then basically jumps in the pool and just basically annihilates everyone. And his coach was basically saying something along the lines: if you would have asked Michael like what was going through his mind when, when that sort of like before the race or when that happened, he probably would have said like, not a lot. And he said it's literally like this is the same mental movie that he basically played over years and years and years, basically in his mind, like the same one that he does over and over and over again. So when it came time for him to, actually do the race, it was just something that he's basically gone over a million times before, no different. The exact same way that he did his visualization was the exact same way that he, performed, at the Olympics. And you dive into like the nitty gritty, speak to a lot of the coaches, professional coaches and stuff, and they all talk about like the mindset of visualization and how important that stuff is. And again, really kind of feeling the emotions of going through going through those kind of motions in your visualization. Like the more you do it, the more vivid the picture can kind of get as well. So yeah, those visualizations and affirmations, very, very powerful.
Very powerful indeed. Yeah, and the crazy thing about, your brain is that it cannot differentiate between reality and, visualization.
Mm-hmm.
So what I've noticed, and I've always asked myself, like I was, visualizing myself sprinting, and suddenly my heart started, beating faster, and I was starting to, my muscles were tense and all this stuff, and I was like, what the hell is happening here?
Yeah.
And because of this information, I knew what happened.
Mm-hmm.
There's no difference from visualizing than reality. So your
Mm-hmm.
body is getting into the same mode, right?
Yeah. And there's like, I think I can't remember like the ice cube challenge or something like this.
Mhm.
Like there was basically an experiment. I know there's been a whole bunch of them kind of done now. I think you can find some of them on like YouTube. Was essentially when basically someone had like some hot coal basically held close to their skin, right? And they could basically see it, and they had a blindfold put on them, and then they basically, whilst the blindfold was on, they basically swapped out the coal with some ice and basically pushed it against their skin, and literally like someone's skin literally started like blistering up as if it had been scalded by hot coal, and it was actually ice. So it's like, yeah, like this just essentially kind of proof that like the brain can't really kind of the subconscious part of the brain can't really differentiate behind what's real and what's not. And again, like this is why affirmation is so, because the subconscious part of the brain essentially pretty much kind of dictates what you can and can't do. You can't tell it what to do, but you can influence it by
Yeah.
positive affirmation, you know repetition of those kind of affirmations, and that will obviously eventually kind of follow through in what you essentially can and can't do. So
Right. And if you think this is woo stuff,
mhm,
then we challenge you to try it out 30 days. Do it for 30 days each day and see for yourself.
mhm. I recommend just reading, for anyone that doesn't believe. I recommend grabbing that book Mindset by Carol Dweck. Again, another book recommended if you're a book reader. Really, really good book is Relentless by Tim Grover. He was essentially someone that worked with Michael Jordan for over kind of 15 years, and really kind of diving into like the mindset of like elite athletes and stuff like that. Yeah,
Awesome.
because yeah, it's like, as he was saying, you can't just train to be the best athlete, because it all starts up above the neck. So if you're weak above the neck, it doesn't matter how much you train. You have to be mentally in the game to be as good as as Michael Jordan was. And he
Yep.
worked with him for over 15 years. So
Crazy.
yeah. Hmm.
So yeah, I think we got everything covered. So let's wrap this one up, summarize it real quick. So we discussed the 4 high-level steps for organic marketing success. Number 1 is, packaging and messaging, right? Packaging and messaging, where you get clear on who it is you're serving, find out their pains, the magnetic attraction, you get clear on where you can find those people and attract to you, so you don't have to chase people. We do this with Facebook organic marketing. We touched on that, how you do it with the profile, etc. So 3rd step will be the conversion. So how do you convert all these people you're just attracted to you into buying clients? And last but not least, the most important of the 4 steps is the mindset. So we got over that quite in detail, which just shows again how much, we emphasize this point, want to emphasize this point. It's the most important 80%. So yeah, what do I need to do if I want to find out more about, these 4 steps that we are using to consistently, generate high ticket clients? So we were which enabled us to quit our jobs, and have to be our own boss.
Yeah, so there's a couple of ways you can do this. I think the easiest way, if you kind of listening to this or watching this, is there'll be a link somewhere down below this video, where you can click on and basically go and kind of check out the free case study video, and then from there you'll be able to kind of schedule a call or something, or you can just find either me or Pascal on Facebook. So yeah, I just kind of recommend kind of checking out our Facebook groups. So mine is the Up-Level Affiliate Marketing Community for Entrepreneurs. And what's your group there, Pascal?
That's a good question. Affiliate marketing secrets and passive income tips for entrepreneurs.
You having to read that?
Yeah.
Oh man,
so many names.
Put me on the spot there, man.
You did.
Yeah. Or you can obviously find our Facebook profiles on Facebook there as well. So my name's Andy Mattis.
In the description.
Yeah, Andy Mattis or Pascal Kurz. Just ping one of us a message there, and then yeah.
All right.
So yeah, I think that's a wrap for this one, guys. Again, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Give us a like, and if you got value from this, leave a comment down below. Something, just let us know, whether you enjoyed this. Let us know kind of what topics you want us to cover, because we're bringing this here to you to kind of cut through the noise that is just everywhere on social media. All right. So let us know what you want to hear from us. Okay. Because yeah, I'm pretty sick of the Lambos as well. So
we would appreciate any feedback in the comments, so we get to know if this actually is valuable for you, or if we can do something better. We always want to improve to give you the best experience in this podcast.
We love the constructive feedback, people. We love it.
Right. All right. Yeah. Thank you so much for tuning in again, and we'll catch you on the next episode then.
Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Thank you. Take care.